Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Thank you for coming in this afternoon to join this webinar. As you saw in the message that was inviting you to it, it's about preparing for the special exam that are coming, and subsequently after that, preparing for the end semester examinations with the possibility of them being administered online as well. So with us today to guide this discussion is Dr. Atemo, the e-learning director, and I would like to extend this moment to invite him to share with us, and then also invite possible questions from you if you need to clarification. You might have noticed that you have been muted and you can't unmute yourself, but you do. If you come up with a question that you needed to post during the webinar, you can just post it in the message chat and we will address it at the end. We might be able to give some of you a chance to, ask questions if they have not been addressed by them. So, but for now, Dr. Atemo, karibu sana, and take it away.
Thank you very much, Edgar. Many thanks to all our candidates and prospective candidates. Maybe some of you have not been cleared by finance to take part in the, to undertake the online special and supplementary exams. But we thank you for making time for this. This is part of, our journey to get you to do these online exams very successfully with the minimal challenges. This is our second session. We met online 2 days ago, I think. We had a very lengthy discussion touching on the preparations that you need to make before 19th. And we also had plenty of time to address a number of issues that came from your end, some of them touching on technology clearance with the relevant sections of the university to be permitted to do the online exams. Some of them touching on even the nature of the exam, taking into account the fact that some content may be difficult to, so some questions may be difficult to answer online, and so on and so forth. So I will start by just giving you an overview in the interest of those who are engaging with us for the first time. And then within a very short time, I'll probably just take 2 or 3 minutes to give you an overview of what is expected of you as regards online exams. And then we can proceed to another session that will take also a few minutes to guide you on what you need to do. If you have a laptop with you, probably you can take advantage, and by the end of this session, test your device and undertake the rehearsal if you have been cleared. So students, as I told your colleagues last 2 days ago, online exams is something that might be a bit unique and also, unfamiliar to you, given that you're used to face-to-face exams ever since you were a child. And because of that, we have to prepare more seriously as compared to face-to-face, because with face-to-face, you just need yourself and a pen and you walk in and undertake the exam. But this is different, and you have to do a lot of preparations, including getting the passcode, getting the key to the room that you will, do your exams from. And if you don't have the right key, then on that particular day, you can find yourself locked out. What I mean is the exam is happening electronically, and we have to have you cleared and admitted into the exam system where you will be doing your exam. And without that, you will not be able to do your exam. And also, orientation on how you need to do it, much different from what you are used to. So this unique nature of this kind of exams is the reason why we are converging here to share more and get you more exposed. One, you need a device to do this exam, because you will do it from wherever you are, but we are interested to know how you are doing it from wherever you are. So you need a computer, and this computer must have a functioning webcam. It can be a desktop computer, but you have to attach a webcam to it and test that it is working right. So you need a laptop, and it must be running Windows 8 and above operating system. Secondly, you need access to internet, reliable internet throughout the exam period. So that again is something that you must just have. There are no two ways about it. And lastly, you must be able to access our systems. So you must be able to access our systems, and you need access credentials or login credentials, and of course familiarity about the system and how to maneuver. So with regard to a laptop, I have defined the requirements, the kind of laptop that we expect you to have. But this laptop must also have a piece of software installed in it, which is the Responders Lockdown browser. In the communication I shared a few days ago for mock exam and rehearsal, you saw some link to download the Responders Lockdown browser. That is also fundamental. You cannot do an online exam without that installed in your laptop, because that is how we get to engage with you. That's how we are able to record your physical exam environment. That's how we are able to obtain your identification documents. That's how we are able to interact with your environment other than you, and make a determination as whether it is appropriate for university level examinations. So so the laptop must have those things that I talked about, that operating system. You must install the Responders Lockdown browser, and of course a typical web browser will be sufficient, because our system is web-based. So if you have any of the standard web browsers, we recommend current version of Google Chrome, but any other browser can still work. But if you have Google Chrome, that's okay. And then just update it, connect it to when you're connected to internet, update it so that it's up to date. So that is what you need to prepare yourself with. And for you to set up that Responders Lockdown browsers, I said just follow the link and then follow the instructions. So if you have your laptop there and you haven't done this, just go back to the WhatsApp group, find that link, access it. If you come across any challenges, you have a chance during this session to ask those questions so that we sort out. Actually, today's webinar was supposed to be a workshop where we talk to you specifically on the challenges that you're facing with technology and other issues. So about internet, this is okay, whatever kind of internet you use, whether it is Wi-Fi, if you have access to an institution that is some facility where there is a cable LAN, you can go connect your device there. If you want to buy internet data bundles, that's okay, but keep your mobile phone away from you. Because there are those requirements we have defined for you for the exam. It doesn't matter to us how you are connecting to the internet, but just make sure that it is reliable, okay? So you are the one who knows which network is strong in your place. Kama ni Safaricom, then use Safaricom. So that's okay. Then, as I said, the access credentials, those of you who have been cleared by finance, we circulated a list. Automatically, all those people have accounts with the exam system. So you just need to log into the exam system, start with the registration number. Registration number start with the capital in the password, use the same, but start with a capital letter. And as soon as you access, the system will prompt you to change your password. That is important. That is your gate pass to the exam room. So change your password immediately. It will force you to change, but the essence is so that your account is secured. And so you when you need to access the exam system, you'll be able to do that anytime you need to do so. That is important. Make sure that you master your password or you note it down somewhere so that on that particular day, you don't confuse it with your M-Pesa password and you start sending money when you are supposed to answer questions on a light note. So that can just be as terrible as not paying fees at all, because you will now be the same as that one who has not been cleared by finance. So that login credential is your key to access the room where the exam is going to be taken. So don't take it lightly and forget it. And then on that particular day, you start running around. We might not be available to sort out those kind of issues, because we'll also be involved in supporting candidates. We shall have passed that stage of enabling you get access to handling other issues that touch on assisting you access the exam questions and so on and so forth. So those are the key things that you must put to perspective as regards technology. There are other general preparations that that are necessary whenever an exam is where exams are around the corner. Some of them I've mentioned them in the course of my discussion on technology, like paying fees, reading for the exam, getting ready with psychologically, and so on and so forth. So this is an exam like face-to-face. All the other preparations that you need to make, please make them as you get ready for it. Lastly, I'll talk about physical environment a bit more deeply. We've talked about technology and the other preparations. Physical environment, normally the university gives you that physical environment. You walk into a room, it's well lit, there is a chair there, there is a table or comfortable seat which has somewhere where you can place your answer sheet. Unfortunately, in this kind of the kind of exams we are talking about, the responsibility of finding a place for you to do the exam is yours, and it means therefore that you have to picture the best place for you to do an exam, which is free of noise, which is well lit, which is neat, and having all the other characteristics that you expect to comfortably undertake an exam. So that's your responsibility. If you live in town, you may have maybe in the middle of town, or if you're likely to find yourself within a very noisy environment, then it means that part of the preparation is making sure that that time when your exam should commence finds you in a place where you can undertake your exam. And it's not just about you feeling comfortable. It's also about us. The university has expectations. We do not want the proctoring tools will be able to identify foreign noise, foreign sound in quotes, movements, and so on and so forth. And those can be, intended to perpetuate cheating, right? So other than you being comfortable in that physical environment, we are also concerned about that environment in terms of the safety of the exam that you are undertaking. That's a university exam you'll be doing from wherever you are. And so we want to see your chair, we want to see your table. So when we talk about a neat environment, you remove all pieces of paper and anything that is not appropriate from within reach. Because we can very easily assume that those papers and whatever have been strategically placed within reach so that when you are out of frame, you can quickly refer. Okay, so we have developed for you a list of things that you must take care of as regards your physical environment. Okay. Lighting, sound, movement, all these things we've described them to you in the rules that we shared. It's important that you read through each one of them and don't take any one of them lightly. much as it's your physical environment that you are putting together, that is also our concern. Previously, we have dictated as a university where you're going to take your exam from, and we continue to do so, but now through technology. So kindly read through all those rules and regulations that touch on the exam environment and abide by all of them, so that you don't land into problems unknowingly or knowingly, and maybe be penalized for cheating when actually you have not committed any exam offense. So that is about the physical environment. Now, how do we interrogate your physical environment? The system we are using is a world-class system. It's called Respondence. You can look it up online. It's used by the biggest universities across the globe. So you can be sure that it's not a small piece of software that you can cheat, all right? It's a very serious system that takes care of your needs, but also the invigilator's needs. It will therefore allow you to when before you start the exam, there are a number of steps that you go through each time that you start your exams, and part of that is recognizing you as a human being. You know, if you don't look like maybe you have covered yourself, or your face is all covered, it might not recognize you, and it will indicate that to you. So you may need to remove all that, whatever that is covering you, maybe long hair tied behind your back, or if it is a hijab for our Muslim sisters, you can, you can in the interest of getting recognized, you can push it back on sides and get recognized and undertake your exam. So again, the essence is to eliminate chances of impersonation. So if the system cannot identify you, it will not permit you to do the exam. And so we can always check which is this registration number and who is this individual, and it will record your entire session, okay? Meaning that we have a recording of you're doing your exam from home, but we have a video of the entire exam session. Other than that, the system is intelligent, and it can recognize the sound. So any sound that you can discern, the system can also discern it. If any sound that you can hear with your ears, that one will be recorded, and it will be flagged because maybe somebody is telling you answers. That is the assumption. So it's up to the invigilator to interrogate later and see whether indeed that noise was helpful to you, that sound was helpful to you or not. But even before the invigilator interrogates that sound, it's your responsibility to keep away from any form of sound. And as I said, you can be penalized for that. Then a student guide and present it on the camera when you are, those of you who have done the mock and rehearsal, you have seen that. That's the same experience, by the way. That's what I'm talking about. So you will present your identification document. Then it will ask you to scan your environment. Just lift the laptop and turn the camera 360 degrees round and 360 degrees perpendicularly, okay? The essence is for the system to capture anything that you may have stuck in the walls or on the desk or on the side and so on and so forth, okay? If you stick anything on the laptop, that the system will not be able to, because the system is, the webcam is attached to the laptop. But now your invigilators will be able to look at the movement of your eyes. So if you scan the environment and register it, and then immediately pull out a mobile phone from your pocket and put it on the desk or on the side, or mount something on the sides of your laptop, you know you are very close to the camera. And even if you look on the side, any side consistently, it will be very clear to the invigilator that there is something that you are trying to read outside the screen, okay? And so that's why in those rules, you have been told that don't look away, don't look at the ceiling, don't look anywhere else other than the screens for your own good. So doing something like some doing so. So for you to stay safe, just concentrate on the laptop. Any movement in whichever direction, I can tell you that because your eyes are very close to the screen, it will be obvious to the invigilator that this person is trying to read something, somewhere within your physical exam environment, even if that material is not visible. Okay, having been guided not to look away from the screen, that is enough evidence to pin you down to explain why that is the case. So I will play one or two scenarios from your mock exam so that you can see what I am actually talking about. So as candidates, we wish you all the best. We want you to prepare your technology well, your device, make arrangements for internet, make sure that you can access the system so that you are not disadvantaged in any way. Make all the other necessary preparations, reading for those supplementary and special exams, being available on time on that particular day, and being psychologically prepared to undertake an exam, just like face-to-face. As regards to your physical environment, prepare your physical environment in advance. Don't go out of town qua jam and you have to open your laptop on a motorbike. That will not be acceptable. Or just prepare like it's an exam. Go and dedicate a particular part of your room or home to be your designated place to undertake online exams, and advise your family members that I'm starting my exams next week from this day, and this is my timetable. If you have a small sibling who makes all the noise in the world around that time, or if your paper is around lunchtime, and normally it's chaos around that time because food is not ready early enough, find a way to keep away from anything that can cause you, to not to meet the requirements that we have defined for you with them. Otherwise, if you take it casually, I can tell you that on that particular day, you'll not have a good experience, and you might want to blame others, but some of your colleagues shall have done it successfully. So you cannot sustain an argument that someone was responsible for your inability to undertake the online exam. So we mean well for you as a university, as your lecturers. We take cognizance of the challenges that this poses to you, including, access to a laptop, access to, again, it's for you. It's in the best interest of the student. At the end of the day, it's you who will be able to get done with this so that you can proceed to the next year, or you can be eligible to graduate. Let us look at this as famine, as a pandemic. I gave you an example last week that there's a time when families sold some members of the family just to get grain, to get food to live. And young boys were sold to neighboring communities to go and work. And the reason was just so that the whole family does not die of starvation. If you can look at that analogy, well, this might not be as terrible as what I'm trying to explain, but we are also not alone. Other universities have decided to do what we are doing, and they are registering good numbers of those students who are able to do it. So we encourage you to look at this positively. You can share devices. If you are 3 of you staying in a room, for those who probably didn't move away from Kisii, you can, if you 3 of you and your papers don't run at the same time, one of you can use the laptop in the morning, another one during mid-session, another one the next day, and special exams. So this is possible. Borrow a device. If you cannot, you can go to a cyber, ask if they have a laptop and some place that is a bit quiet. They may ask you for something small, maybe around 90 shillings from you. And maybe if you have 2 papers, that's 180. Well, I may not be able to provide an answer to everyone, but just to be creative on how you can leverage devices that don't even belong to you, the devices of your relatives, your friends, cybers, and so on and so forth. And just to get done with 1 or 2 papers that is standing in your way of graduating. Because once you suffer and even spend the 100 or 200 to do the paper by borrowing a laptop, look at the bigger picture. You'll be able to graduate early and you have a whole year with your degree, and probably that will enable you access opportunities that you cannot, compare with what you spent and the little suffering you went through to do that supplementary or special exam. So I think I do not want to spend a lot of time on this. I know you're also struggling with bundles and you would like to use the bundles even to undertake the rehearsal. So I will stop there and maybe invite questions from you on the technical issues you're facing and any other thing that you think is standing in your way of preparing for the upcoming special and supplementary exams. And of course, we'll continue to engage through our WhatsApp walls. The technical team will continue to engage with you so that this runs. That's okay. Edgar, are you there?
Yes, Dr. I'm here.
Edgar?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Have I left anything out? I think our session last 2 days ago was much longer and we really talked about a lot. This is just an overview, but I know there are some students who are coming on board for the first time. Is there anything that you think I've left out and I need to talk about it just before we open the door, open the floor to the student prospective candidates?
No, Dr. I think you pretty covered it very well. I think in the interest of time, we might just go straight to the questions that are on the chat, and then we see how we can bring this to a close. But you covered pretty much everything elaborately, even reflected some things on what you had shared last time. And I'm sure students can benefit from both the recorded video from last time and to this time. Going through the questions immediately, I can see some you've already answered as you were speaking, as the students were asking. There are others surrounding the list. We'd just like to say that we have another updated list that is coming, and I'm sure education students, I can see one question on that. I've been affected a lot with the last list, but we have several of you who have made it to this one after working through it with finance. So that will be coming in after this webinar. And as a director will tell you, once you receive, once you see that you are on that list, you are asked to directly proceed for the mock examination in the system, exam system, so that your system can be ready. I can see a question on if you can get an extension to access the mock exam. I think, Dr. you can share about that as well. There is still a question from last time, I think similar from last times, about if SPAS students are taking mathematics paper and how. In light of yesterday's meeting with the lecturers and deans, Dr. I think you can cast some light on that as well, so that our SPAS students are able to prepare themselves accordingly based on that deliberation. Then there is, I'm trying to see if there's another one that you've not answered. Most of them, most of these questions, as I'm seeing, are very operational and cannot be answered collectively in this forum. You need to reach out to a particular technical person in your school. As you've seen, we've shared several times different technical persons who are available for your schools. And maybe one thing to say about that is some of you are bombarding the technical persons with so many messages and so many calls that they're not able to support anyone. I would like to encourage that if you are reaching out, maybe you're sending a message on WhatsApp or you're sending a message via text or in an email, do so elaborately at once. Once you send that message, allow that technical person to push to you and answer. If you keep resending, one person sends about 10 messages, it becomes very difficult for that person to assist anyone. So let's just try and maintain some level of professionalism to give them the opportunity to serve us. But that is what I can see for most of the operational question. Aside from that, I'm trying to see if there's another one that can catch your eye, Daktari. But I think you've covered mostly. On the issue of fees, I know you have shared about it. Finance is actively working on that. There's a big challenge I know with HELB, and we're working with the Dean of Students to see if it is possible to support some of you whose money has already come. For those ones whose money has not yet come, it is difficult. It will not be possible. But if your batch money has come, then finance is actively working on that. I'm looking for another question, Daktari. Just be patient a bit. I am seeing a lot of feedback. I think most of which you have covered. Please allow students to use their mobile phones because some of us are unable to afford a laptop. Some of us come from the village, we don't have modems, we use our phones. All those challenges are present and they are a reality, but as Daktari has said, we have to find a way to move forward and provide the best possible solution for some of them. Not be able to access the examination portal, that's a question. I don't know how you will answer that, Daktari. Resend the list of students, we will resend that. We will send the updated one. And then there's another insisting on the questions on mathematics and diagrams. I think you will catch that, Daktari, when the list will be available. It's after this meeting, we will compile a message and share it with you. So keep an eye out. And then how shall we draw chemistry structures in laptops? I think, Daktari, the most prominent question that is not operational is about past students who require to do mathematical calculations and chemistry. You can start from there as we go forward, Daktari. Doc, are you with us?
Yes, hello, Edgar.
Yes, Doc.
Yeah, so
you've had my question.
Yes, I did. But if I forget anything, kindly remind me.
I will.
Yeah, so I'll start with the updated list because that's what I've been doing while I was listening to the questions. If you go back to your WhatsApp walls, you can see I have updated that list, though it will be updated again by end of day today. But most of the education students were missing, so there is additional students there from education over 250. So those ones are also been updated into the exam system so they can immediately rehearse. For the rest of the schools, your issues have been presented through your CODs and deans to finance, and they have been handled. And I think others are being handled right now. So by end of day today, there will be another updated list. But for education students, you can see if you are among the 260 something that I have just shared a few seconds ago. And on that note, the timeline is extended a bit. That had been raised a short while ago. So it has been extended by up to midnight tomorrow. So do your rehearsal is mandatory. So without rehearsal, we do not know. We'll assume that you are not signing up for an online exam. Probably you would like to do it another time when it's offered face-to-face. But for you to communicate to us that you are signing up for online exams and take the rehearsal so that we know that you are ready. So for those who have challenges accessing the exam system, it's just because we have not admitted into the exam system. Only the eligible candidates, and the eligible candidates are in the list we have shared, nowhere else. So even those who had accounts before, like I got someone saying, I used to access the exam system last time we did exams, that's okay. But as soon as an exam ends, we suspend all accounts of students because you have done your part. The rest is for the lecturers to mark the exams and do the rest of the things on the answers you have provided. So not accessing the exam system simply means that you have not been admitted. And if you are in the list, then just raise that query. But I haven't seen a single case of a student who is in the list and has challenges to log in. Mostly is there is something pending, probably you paid and your name is not on the list. About using phones, unfortunately, no, as I said, these are international, this is an international proctoring system we are using, and the vendor has defined the parameters. You know, the way it functions is it has to monitor and apply some artificial intelligence to assess your behavior during the exam session and flag. And other than that, it locks down the exam environment. So you cannot navigate. You cannot open any other page. You cannot open anything inside that laptop until you finish answering the questions. So for all this to function as designed, there is a particular hardware software platform that is appropriate. And that is normally defined by the vendor. So it's not possible. Even if you tried to access that, to attempt that assessment using a mobile phone, it will not allow you. Actually, even if you are using another system like Linux or Unix or Solaris or any other operating system that is different from this, it again will not permit you, all right? So just work very hard and get a laptop. I wish that in the interest of inclusivity, we would allow you to use any phone, even Mulika Mwizi, and even allow those who cannot afford a smartphone to also access these assessments. But it will deny us a chance to invigilate you properly, you know, given the solution that the university has selected to conduct these online exams. So mobile phones cannot be used. They could be used if we were not embedding this proctoring tool, because you have been doing assessments on the LMS without, but the moment we integrate, we embed this proctoring system, then you can only access the exam through a laptop running Windows 8 and above. But for those who are privileged to, you can also use Mac. Again, if it is the latest version, you can be able to access. But I know majority of us use Windows. About mathematics and diagrams, I said you'll be guided by the exam timetable that will be produced. We are yet to, is what will be offered. So I must admit that not all the courses will be offered from 19, but just wait for the timetable and you will be sure whether your chemistry paper, where you draw, what are they called, hydrocarbons or what? Yeah, those things that look like polygons, and any other you know, content that your lecturers might feel that can be offered some other time, still online or face-to-face. So there are preparations that have been going also from our end. So just wait and be guided by the timetable. If you don't see a particular unit showing on the timetable, then probably there are particular reasons why that course is not being offered to you now and through e-learning. But it doesn't mean that therefore you have lost out. No. We have we know which courses you should have taken supplementary and and special exams on. So we will give you further direction on those courses. So don't worry, any course that will be offered online, the lecturer knows that as a subject matter expert, what they are testing, you can answer online as required. Finally, about I think the extension of the deadline we have talked about tomorrow midnight. I think that's okay, Mr. Edgar. Have I left out anything?
No, Dr. Ari, you haven't. But I'm seeing follow-up questions a little bit in the chat. Someone is saying, I have tried using a tablet, but the browser is being downloaded as a document. What might be the problem? Another person saying, about those who don't have an e-learning account, please login is a problem. And then I think those are the two. The others you've already answered. So yeah, okay. The one who's is being downloaded as a document, and then the one who is doesn't have an e-learning account. And then there's a bunch of questions on finance still, which I have already said we are working with finance to try and see. For those ones who have already paid fees and it has not reflected, we are really trying to sort you out. So just be patient for the moment as we see what finance will be able to do for us. Yes, Dr.
Yeah, thank you. I think I will not say anything more on the finance issue. You've stated it clearly. As regards logging to the LMS, we are done with that phase of doing the mock on the learning management system, but you can access it at your convenience. Right now, we are concentrating on the exam system and eligible candidates. So if you are not accessing the LMS, don't waste time. Just follow up with us so that you are cleared and you are eligible to do the exam, and we are admitting you to the exam system, and you will be able to do the rehearsal, and when exams come, you'll be able to do the exams. So if you have challenges accessing the exam system, then maybe the problem is you have not been cleared. And if you have been cleared, get in touch with us. But we haven't found a single case of a student who is in the system and is missing, because immediately we get that list and we share it. By the time we share it, we have populated that list in the exam system. By the way, the mock exam, you be careful with the links. If you are following a link that is taking you to e-learning, Kisii University.e-learning, then you are going to the LMS, the learning system. If it is taking you to examinations.Kisii University, then that is now correct. That is the exam system. These are two separate web-based systems. So be careful. You might actually be using your correct credentials, but on the wrong system. So right now we are talking about the exam system. Right now we are only talking about eligible candidates. Earlier we were allowing any prospective student to try their device with a mock on the LMS, the learning system. Okay. Yeah. So beware about tablets, smartphones, any other gadget that is not a computer running Windows 8 and above. You will have technical challenges. It's not supported. Okay. So just the same way you might try to download it using your mobile phone, that is the same case when you're trying to download it for a tablet. So just use a laptop and make sure that the webcam is functioning. Kama inafanya, but the drivers are not updated, update the driver, because the proctoring tool relies on the camera to do the monitoring, to take a snapshot of your identification documents, to register your physical environment, video, and also to record your video throughout the session. So if it is malfunctioned, then it will not permit you. There's a student who came the other time. I think someone had, the laptop had dropped or something like that, and the camera was physically damaged. So the student had to go and get an external webcam and attach. So there are cameras, there are those webcams you can buy and attach through the universal serial bus port. So you need to do that, or take a desktop and attach that webcam, but make sure that it is working, and make sure that that computer is running Windows 8 and above operating system. But if you come across any errors, you just take a screenshot and post there. We will hopefully come across it, and the technical team know what error results from what mistake or what problem, and they can quickly tell you what you need to do differently to I think that's okay. I hope those who ask these questions have been assisted, and others who are listening and were thinking of the same questions, I hope you have also benefited from the engagement. Back to you, Edgar. Any new thing that has come up so that we save the bundles of the students and allow them to complete the rehearsal?
No more questions. I can, however, see Myra has lifted her hand up. Myra Onsongo, I don't know if you have a question. If you do, I would ask you to unmute and ask that, and then you will be able to get the opportunity to pray for us. If Daktari is okay with and has nothing else to add, Myra, you can ask your question or make your comment, and then you can end this session with a prayer after Daktari answers your question. So, Myra. Myra. Yes, Myra. Yeah, your microphone is off, Myra.
Are you getting me?
Yes, I am. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So I was in the list. I applied for exam and I was in the list, the first list. And the latest list that came out, I was not there. So, and I have cleared the school fee, but I don't know what's up. Nikiambiwa nizungumze na wakubwa wananiambia niongee na finance officer wa Nairobi campus. Na yeye ananiambia hajaambiwa chochote about being cleared and everything. So I don't know what to do.
Are you an education student?
No, art and social sciences.
Nairobi campus.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I have an answer for you, Daktari. If you allow me, I can answer that. Huh?
That's okay. Go right ahead.
Yes, Myra. I shared with our finance here, and maybe this might affect all other students in Nairobi campus as well. You can pass the message to them. I shared with the finance officer here, who was responsible for handling all these things, and there was some irregular receipting in most of Nairobi accounts. So he has submitted that request to the Nairobi campus liaison person, finance person, to be able to receipt those receipts in the system. Once they are receipted well in the system, he will be able to clear you on our end. So this is something that is happening now. I think you should give it up to end of day. And then once it is done, I will try and check in with the finance person at Nairobi campus if he has completed. And then I will check in with our finance person here who is responsible for clearing people who are coming into the system. So just be patient and let's see how that is going to be handled. Sawa.
Okay, thank you, Edgar.
All right.
Just to add something, the finance officer also did indicate that some people may think they don't have fee balances, but they reported session and they are yet to clear fees for the current semester. So those who had no arrears but have reported session and registered for units in the current semester, it means technically you are yet to clear the fee balance. I think that is another thing that students need to be aware of. That is not just about past, but also the balances that you owe the university for the semester that is currently running.
Daktari, you're actually right. We have cases, especially from Nairobi, Myra, and maybe these you can check in with your colleagues also do the same. We have cases for students in Nairobi who have paid fees up to over 150,000, and they have in the system, it looks like they have an overpayment, but once
Exactly
they are,
like me.
yes,
Yeah.
but once they are invoiced, that overpayment is taken into account, and then you are either cleared or you realize you have a balance. So that is being done right now. It's proper receipting in the system based on what is available in Nairobi campus, which is currently what is being done. When you realize that your portal now, the 150,000, if you had an overpayment, is gone, then that means it has been sorted, and now your name should be on our end in terms of clearing. So let's see how that goes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Daktari. Daktari, maybe last word before you invite Myra to pray.
Yeah, thank you once again, our prospective students, for making time for this session. We have engaged well, and the engagement will continue on our walls. So get in touch with any officer of the university that you think can be of help to you, the CODs, the deans, the finance people. They are all present in those walls. So, and I can see that indeed your issues are being responded to. So we'll bring this to an end, and just before that, I can see the Deputy Director is on board, Deputy Director e-Learning, Mr. Gordon, and I can make just a few remarks and close any gaps that I left open. I can also see some members of academic staff. I can see Dr. George Andima. Daktari, kindly just say a word, and then the Deputy Director can make closing remarks, and then we can have a closing word of prayer from Myra. Dr. Andima. Dr. Andima.
He is not unmuting, Daktari.
It's all right then. Mr. Gordon, kindly make a few remarks. Then
Thank you very much, Daktari. I believe you can hear me?
Yes, very well.
Okay, good. I just wanted, thank you for the presentation and clarification. That is the Director and Edgar for elaborate and the questions that are coming from students. There's just something I wanted to raise, or rather make a comment on. A student has raised an issue that they're using their phones to create a hotspot for internet access using the laptop. And one is inquiring if that will be a malpractice or not. If you use the phone to get materials to aid you in answering the questions, the proctoring tool or the web camera will capture your eyes reading on the phone, and you will be flagged red, and that is malpractice. But what I want to mention when it comes to the use of phones to create hotspots, I know like 80% of students would use their phones. There is a tendency of people calling you during the exam. And when you receive a call during the exam, it interferes with your network if you are using one line. So I advise students, either, I don't know what you'll do that you don't get all the calls, but if you have other lines that friends don't know, put bundles on that line and use it. If you have a modem, that would be the best. But on our phones, if you have like one line, I know people will call you, and every time they call you, you will use there'll be an intermittent connection with your network, and this will interfere with your smooth doing of the exam. So I advise all students, if you have a line that very few people know about it, if you had money, maybe just to get even a line, you could get like a line just for the exam that nobody else knows. Then you put that line and disable other lines on that phone during the exam period. So that's the interference some student got a problem with lastly when we are doing the exam. So just figure out, you don't answer calls. You may not have to answer calls. So you just need to have a line you don't need to answer calls with the same line you're using exams with. But even if you don't answer, every time somebody calls you, there'll be an interference. So figure out this. Either get a modem or get a line or just ensure you have a smooth network during your examination. Otherwise, you'll just get disconnected, try again, disconnected, try again, and this will interfere with your exam. Doc, maybe that's what I wanted to raise, because I've experienced it when you are using the same line for communication and the same line for talking.
Thank you very much, Deputy Director, for that very positive contribution. Just to add, in the rule that we have sent to you as candidates, we have indicated that do not handle anything, any foreign material, including a mobile phone. So what Deputy Director is saying is, even if you're going to use your mobile phone for internet, you do that before the exam. It's part of preparation. You know you're going to get your internet from your mobile phone. So connect it, create that hotspot, make sure that the bundles are enough, and put it away from that small space where you are answering the questions from. So it's not good to handle it and then later claim when you're called for disciplinary, you say, oh, you know, I was recharging my bundles. No, don't handle it. So prepare well and make sure that you have enough bundles, and there's no need therefore for you to handle. And as Deputy Director said, manage communication. Just shut yourself from any possible, you know, anyone seeking your attention to respond to an SMS or whatever. By even having a dedicated line as you have been advised.
Just Doc, while you are on,
yes,
there is a way, if you're using the same phone, like the smartphone as a hotspot, you can keep your phone in a busy mode where nobody can reach you during the exam. I know our students know how to do that. You can get the hotspot, but nobody can get you through that phone. So make sure you have those configurations set on those phones so that nobody can reach you on phone.
Actually, Mr. Gordon, there are two. Actually, there is the busy mode and there is the focus mode. If you put in either of the two, some phones it's the focus mode, some phones is the busy mode. If you put that, nobody can call you and then it rings, but your data connection will be all well.
Great.
Daktari, I think Dr. Ndima now is with us, and I also think we have Dr. Nyabuti. Maybe they can say a word. Dr. Ndima.
Yes.
Go ahead and share something with our students before we close.
Hello.
Yes, Daktari.
Marumbo, what would you want me to do?
I don't know. Just share a word with our students and encouragement as we close.
Sorry.
Just a comment, a word of encouragement.
Sorry. I've been following, but I had problems with my internet. But one thing I wish to share with the students, this is the way to go. Online activities now is the new normal. We must try to do the best we can to meet the obligations. We'll not go to be saying that, you know, I don't have this. Like this morning I had a class and my students are telling me I don't have a laptop, I don't have this, I don't have that. Well, I appreciate the fact that it's not possible for everybody to have what Dr. Makia has been saying, but we have to do something because this is the new normal. Otherwise, you'll be in university for a long time and you'll never make progress. So I wish to encourage you to do, to make a step and ensure that the forthcoming exam is not little with those, you know, any problems. Observe the rules as they have been spelled out. And indeed, it's a virtue to be honest and do the exams as required. For now, because I've not been able to follow appropriately, but I know, as Marumbu Edgar said, he's going to share the recording. I'll want to keenly follow the recording because I also want to be a good student in terms of how online exams are taken. So back to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daktari. Thank you for the kind words. Dr. Ratemo, back to you if you have something as we close.
No, that's okay. I just want to thank everyone for making time for this engagement once again, and wish every one of us all the best as we continue to undertake all the other things that relate to online supplementary and special exams. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ari. Deputy Director, anything as we close?
No, I just want to wish all the students the best. Let them engage, do the mock, be comfortable, get the energy, courage, read well, and do the exam. You will just do it well.
Thank you, thank you. Myra, you can close us with a word of prayer.
Okay.
Myra, you're muted. You are still muted, Myra. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Let's believe and pray. Father in heaven, we thank you so much for today. We thank you so much for everything that you've granted us. We thank you so much for the training that you have enabled us to do today, Father. All we ask is your knowledge and protection. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic rest of the day.
I finished. Not class.